So for the nonviolent physical intervention portion of CPI, which we're always looking at care, welfare, and safety, we want to make sure that we start with the kick block. This one's pretty simple. In any strike situation, you can remove the target or deflect the weapon by placing an object between the weapon and the target. Now, yep, I'm using the terms weapon and target, and we'll talk about that in just a second. The act of blocking or shielding is based on your natural responses. It's a primal reflex to protect yourself from a strike. In the example, the bottom of the staff member's foot is used to shield or block an oncoming kick. You want to attempt to move out of the way to maintain safety. So the reaction is going to be pretty natural, but your goal is to always remove the target. So the weapon is whatever is coming at you, whether that be a fist or a book or biting, it could be teeth, that's your weapon. Whatever's being used, that's the weapon. And then the target is whatever it's coming after. Shoulder, head, neck, a table, the wall, anything that the weapon is coming towards is considered the target. So you're going to hear those words a lot. I just wanted to make sure that we cleared that one.
Okay, so if I'm engaging with a student, I'm already, and I can see there's some sort of engagement. There's already been portions of that escalation continuum hit. I can visually see the anxiety, whatever it might be. And if I see the physical aggression piece, if I know he's about to do something, and I'm standing here, I'm already in my supportive stance. Remember the supportive stance. I have a foot back. That's my getaway. I call that my getaway foot. I have my right hand with my right foot down by that side. I have my left hand in the supportive palm up piece, waist or lower, not any higher. That communicates something different than down here. The whole goal is that it feels open and welcoming. There's nothing for me to shut them out. That's the whole point, right, psychologically. If he is coming at me to kick, it's a deflection. I am not doing anything in retaliation. I'm not trying to fix it or stop it. I'm deflecting so I don't get hurt, but my goal is, that's why I've got my supportive stance, is to be able to get away. So I just lift to deflect, right? Because it's major body parts that you want to protect, and we'll talk more about that later. So Sean is my out of control person. Thank you for being my ECP, OCP. Mm-hmm. And so he's gonna pretend to kick me very slowly, gently, so you can see the actual movement. Go for it. Deflect and move. And he may catch the bottom of my foot, but that's fine. That didn't do anything. It didn't hit my knee, which is your big thing. You don't want your knee hit. Why? Because knees twist, turn, they get damaged very easily. Okay, that's why I'm coming up and out. I'm moving back. Again, whoa, I'm deflecting and I'm running. So from here, I can take off. All right, so you ready? We're gonna try this. You take the supportive stance. Do you remember the supportive stance? Yeah, there you go, perfect. So I'm here, I am Demonte, except for, 6 times his height, and I'm, yeah. No, that's correct. You turn the way that your body is faced, always. And so otherwise, it's not a real getaway. Then you're trying to shuffle around yourself. So again, I don't like you, leave me alone. And that's exactly right. And he may run after him, and he may grab his arm. That's something else we'll learn in just a second. All right, if you have any questions about the deflect, let us know.
All right, so this is the one hand wrist grab release. So to gain a psychological advantage, this is by using the leverage and momentum to pull away. Remember, we talked about levers yesterday when we were talking about the chokehold and getting out of the chokehold. Same kind of thing for this. Now, you want to make sure that you're looking at being able to pull away from the weak part or the weak area of the wrist grab, and that's between the thumb and the forefingers. You can see in the photo there. So you can increase your momentum and leverage by maintaining a balanced stance and using your body's positioning to enhance a physiological advantage. At the same time, you can gain a physiological advantage by using a verbal distraction or an element of surprise, like we talked about the other day. Shoot a monkey. Release and attempt to move out of the way to maintain your safety.
So you can see Sean, or big blonde-headed Demonte, has already grabbed my wrist, right? And so what we just talked about is the physiological advantage. So that's talking about the physical component, and we're looking at right between where his thumb and his fingers are. That's the weak part. That's the weakest part. No matter how big or little a hand is, that's the weakest part. I need my wrist to be turned up, where your thumb is. That's where you need to line it right in between the two. Now, what I'm going to do is do it like a lever. Levers do this. So that's my goal right there, is to do the lever like this. Now, the easiest way is I'm already in my stance. I never changed my stance. I'm not coming after the kid. I'm not trying to grab their arm. I'm not trying to do anything other than get away. And so that is the least resistance for the physical intervention, is getting away, removing yourself from the physical intervention. So I'm already in a stance. The easiest thing to do, I drop my elbow. I've already aligned my wrist. Snap and walk. Do it again. He grabs. I align, snap and walk, right? I'm not worried about hurting him at this point, because that is a non-violent way to get out of that. He's not going to be hurt by that in the least. If I grab him, or I come forward, or I try and twist it, that's when the kid can actually get hurt. That's why we have to be really conscientious. So I'm standing here talking. I can see he's visibly and even
like
verbally upset. He doesn't like what I'm trying to say. And so all of a sudden he grabs my arm, and he can see that I'm not threatened. Myself didn't change. My face is still serious like I was. I straighten, I organize, I bend, break, release, and get away. That's what this stance is for. It's a getaway stance. Okay.
Miss Tanya, would you like to come to the lab with me?
No, I don't want to go. You can't make me go.
Well, it's very important.
Can't make me go.
Come.
No. All right. So when there's a grab like this, remember, find the thumb, find the fingers. Turn your hand. There you go. You got to line up your thumb and your wrist to go in between the two. Then your leverage is elbow down and then back, right? So I come down and back. I don't back at the same time. That's actually kind of important. Go ahead and grab my wrist. So I'm not going to do this. I'm not pulling up. What I'm doing is I'm going down and back, because my movement down just knocked that out of his hand. And if he had a really good grab, it loosened it so that I could pull away. Even if he's coming from the top, grab my hand from the top. Yeah, which is different, right? So when that happens, I'm still doing the same thing. Wrist in between the gentle space. I've now moved my elbow down. Same thing. It's actually easier. It feels more difficult, but it's actually easier to get out of a grab from top up. Grab bottom down feels easier, and it's usually more difficult. The principle is the same. You turn and shift so that your wrist is in the weak spot, whatever that is. You leverage elbow down, back, and get away.
All right, so this one is the two-handed wrist grab release. This one's fun. So you're going to gain a physiological advantage by using leverage again and momentum to pull away at that weak area within the wrist, right? So it's right in between where the thumb and the fingers are again, and you can increase your momentum and leverage by using your free hand to assist in the pulling away from the grab. I'm going to actually show you the right way to do that so they don't feel like you're punching them. However, with a hand coming forward, they may release and back up, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. With that said, you need to make sure that you can maintain a balance in your stance, and then you use your body positioning so that you can enhance that physiological advantage. Now, at the same time, you can grab and gain the physiological advantage by using a verbal distraction or element of surprise. Remember? Hallelujah! Release and attempt to move out of the way to maintain your safety.
So again, we're back to the same stance. This is my supportive stance. What is this called?
A support stance.
Supportive stance. Super easy. This hand is so non-threatening, it's away. It is away from that person. It's not on my hip. It's not out here. It's actually down here. I have to be really conscientious because my brain wants this hand to be up here too. You release and relax this hand with this leg, which is your getaway. This right here, this arm, this leg, this is your getaway. All right. So I'm in my supportive stance. My, gigantic muscle-bound Demonte grabs my hand with both hands. Okay. Now, the concept is the same. I still have to align. Now what I'm looking at is between the two thumbs. So as close as I can in between those two is where I'm going to line mine up. I'm still going to have to bend for leverage. Now what I'm going to do is take my second hand, my getaway hand is now needed. So to get away, I'm gonna reach over and grab my own hand. Then I, again, go down and then pull up and back. So I've used leverage and momentum. Again, I don't pull straight back. If he's got me, I'm not pulling straight back. That's more difficult. It can hurt me and him. So when I'm there, the leverage is this. I'll go down for leverage and then pull out. So I know that I need another hand. He's got two hands. That means I need two hands, even if they're tiny. It's for ultimate safety. I position my thumb so that it's kind of between where the two thumbs are right there. I reach over, and this reach alone might cause him to flinch, which is helpful. We're not going for the flinch. That's not the goal. I'm going to get my fist. Do not touch the child in any other place. Touch yourself. So what I'm doing is I'm coming in, I'm getting my fist, leverage down, elbow down, back over, momentum, and I run. Okay. You ready to try?
I'm ready.
Okay. The ginormous female version of DeMonte.
DeMonte, why don't you just want to color your book?
We'll try again. Just say, will you come with me to the
Will
lab?
you come with me to the lab?
I don't want to go to the lab. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. So what does he do? He aligns his thumb. Very good. You'll notice he came into me a little bit first. He wasn't actually pushing me, but he was pushing himself. That's the leverage. If my elbow doesn't get down, I don't have the leverage. You're already talking about a small child. We should probably do it more like this. Let's do it one more time. I don't want to go. Ah. Good job. And what that is he twisted his wrist so that it was right in between the 2 points of my thumbs. There was an alignment. He then bent down, and that is what weakens the grip, not pulling out. Pulling out won't weaken. So once you have that, hand over, bend, back, and go. All right, so we're gonna do the one-hand hair pull release. In order to immobilize this grab, you're gonna secure the person's hand to your head. We talked a little bit about that yesterday because it is kind of similar to the bite principle, but we'll talk more about that later. All right, so with this one, by using one or both of your hands, you're gonna immobilize the person's hand. You can prevent further grabbing of hair and minimize injury. Move your head toward the person, leveraging the arm position to a 45-degree angle, right? So you're looking for the arm and the wrist to be at the 45-degree angle. The grip of the hair pull is levered backwards, reducing the strength of the grip and opening up the weak point of the grab at the fingers. At the same time, you can gain a physiological advantage by using a verbal distraction or an element of surprise, such as, "What the?" As your hair is released, attempt to move out of the way to maintain safety. Standing here, talking with a kid, I'm in a support stance. I may not be in a support stance. I may be in the middle of doing something else, and all of a sudden this kid grabs my hair. Oh, so my natural reaction would be to want to pull away. We don't want to do that for them or for you. So right now what I do is I put both hands on his, and I'm pushing my head into the hand. You'll see that his arm went back. It's now at an angle, and I can even hold this so that the wrist comes back. Now when that happens, you want the wrist at a 45 because it will almost naturally cause the fingers to weaken or release, and then you can step out. So I'm in my stance. When this happens, I make sure that my body gets positioned. I'm pushing really hard. I come down until his fingers release, and I pull out. Same thing, I run away. All right, you ready? Okay, so here we are. I'm doing my thing, putting stuff up. All of a sudden, I get a hair grab. I grab like this. I'm in my stance. I come down, and I back up. It feels like it's about to break your wrist. It's not, I assure you. The kid may say, "Oh my gosh, they hurt my wrist." We didn't. I am certain of it. We're good to go. All right, so you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Sean's my instructor. He's trying to teach me about Awana and God and all these great things, and I don't want to hear it, and so I grab hair. It's kind of hard. Oh, nope, wrong way. You had just twisted my arm this way, which now you have hurt the child. Okay, it's okay. We're gonna try it again. You ready? I grab his hair. There you go. That's it. He came in and down. The minute my arm comes back and my wrist goes back, that's when you can break away. Good job. So same principle when it's a two-handed hair grab, which can happen and typically most often just with little kids. All right. So he grabs my hair with two hands. Oh great, now I'm in trouble. but I'm still in my stance, or I have quickly moved there, right? This is how I get away. That's why I need my stance. I grab both hands with my whole might, and if it's a really strong grab and I can tell that coming this way he's not budging, I might step forward, down like that. I don't pull away until I feel his hands come off. Otherwise my hair's going with him. And that's okay, better your hair than, you know, your heart, but okay. So, you ready?
Right.
All right, we're gonna do it one more time. Double hair grab. I grab, I step, I come down, back, and I get away. All right. Okay. You wanna try?
Sure.
Harder with short hair. Okay. All right. So I grab.
Demonte, please grab my hair.
So I've got his hair. He does the same thing, and I'm pulling. Oh, he's coming back. Oh. I'm telling you, I'm pulling. So when he comes back, it's shocking to me because you expect for him to pull away. So when that happens, several things are happening. Psychologically, the kid is confused, and that's exactly where you want them to be. All right. Nicely done.
Thank you guys again for your attention and for joining us today in the Nonviolent Crisis Intervention physical intervention portion of the training. We've looked at care and welfare. We've looked at safety and security. We've studied the kick block. We've looked at the one-hand wrist grab release. We've looked at the two-handed wrist grab release. And from there, we shifted into the hair pull. The hair pull with one hand and the two-handed hair pull. Now, all of these features, you're ready to try. Give it a shot. Practice on a friend. Thanks for joining us today.